Hello and welcome. To those of you who I haven't met, I'm Faye McGill and I'm the Deputy Director of Thames Gateway Teaching School Hub. Today's short video will focus on our NPQ in Leading Teaching. It's to give you a rough overview of what to expect if you select to study with us and Elsie. I'm very pleased to welcome Charlie Napier, who is Deputy Head of Rain and Mark Grammar School. She's also a facilitator on the NPQ Leading Teaching and has been delivering the course with us for the past year. Charlie, thank you for agreeing to join us. So if you can start by giving us a brief overview of the course and what it covers, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, okay. So like most of the NPQs, it's 3 modules. It's broken into 3 modules, which are quite easy to navigate. The focus is very much on teaching and on leading teaching. And so it builds up that knowledge over those modules. So module 1 is the school culture and how pupils learn. And that module is very much around what we know about the cognitive science and how children best learn. And it draws on the most recent thinking around how children learn best. It draws on Rosenshine's principles and also the other work of the other cognitive scientists that educationists are using at the moment. After participants have explored that, it moves on to a module called Curriculum and Classroom Practice. So this is very much more about how we might apply some of that theory to our curriculum when we're building a curriculum, and also how we might apply that theory to our pedagogy. So in that module, the exciting thing about that is that participants will be looking at what they're doing in their own practice and be able to bring that to the sessions. So that will enhance and inform their thinking and take that back to their own schools. Within that module, very much it is evidence-based, drawing on the research done by the EEF. So it's very relevant and up to date. And the final module is called Adaptive Teaching and Assessment. And I think we can all agree that adaptive teaching is really something that lots of people are really focusing on and trying to get right, so that every student is entitled to the very best of the curriculum and pedagogy. So in that module, participants will be exploring strategies for the curriculum and for in the classroom to make sure those students experience success, and also really unpicking what assessment means and how teachers should use assessment and how students should use assessment to inform their learning journey. So that's the whole course in a nutshell in 3 modules.
Thank you, Charlie. And I think probably the biggest question for people that we get considering the courses is what's the time commitment? We know teachers are busy people. So in your opinion, as a facilitator, what's the time commitment for people selecting to study with us?
Okay, so throughout the course, there is 1 face-to-face seminar per module. So those run sort of, I think they're around 3.5 hours where you meet all together. So there's 3 of those throughout the whole course. And then there are 2 webinars per module. They are done as in twilight, so they don't impact on your school day. Schools have been very accommodating to allow participants to attend those. And then behind that, so that's the in-face time commitment, if you like. Behind that, there is reading to do. It's very well organised so that participants know what reading they need to do prior to any of the webinars or the seminars. And it's all available on the online platform for them to navigate. So there is some reading to do prior to those, but there's a lot of flexibility around when you do that, because it's all available for you on the online library. You are signposted on the platform. This is the summary you need to read. And so you can do that completely in your own time, be completely flexible around that. There is a learning journal to write up notes but there's flexibility about when you do that. Sometimes you may even do that within a session.
Perfect, thank you. And you've touched on how the course is structured in terms of the 3 modules. Thank you for that. Can you just talk to us a little bit about how the course is assessed, the final assessment?
Yep. So there is 1 final assessment at the end of the course, and that pulls together all of the knowledge that has been building up over the course. And you are given sort of a window within to do that, and you will be producing sort of a longer piece of writing, pulling on everything that you have been working on. You're given a scenario, sort of a situation, and you are using your knowledge to answer that. There are other ways that you are assessed throughout the course, but that is more about your engagement with the platform. So it's making sure that you, which is really good for you, that you do take part in the discussion that's happening online, and that you do fill in your learning journal. Those learning journal comments don't need to be extensive, though. They're definitely not even close to being sort of a mini essay. They're very much for you. They're a reflective learning journal, but it's just making sure that you keep up to date with that as you're going on.
Thank you, Charlie. So there's an engagement score in terms of how you're interacting with the material. And then the final assessment is 1,500-word essay response to a case study. And it's a 7-day window, and all of that's done online.
That's right.
Thank you for clarifying that. 2 more questions to go. For someone that was thinking about doing the course, what sort of support can they access? You've talked about it as you've gone along, but if you can just explain that to us.
Well, they have 2 really great facilitators that have been really well trained on how to facilitate and how to support the participants. Those facilitators have had training on how adults learn best and kind of what some of the barriers might be for adults who are very busy working people, some who may well have family commitments outside school as well. So the facilitators are there on hand to offer support within the sessions, but also via the platform, via sort of emails, setting up groups for the participants. So for my cohort, for example, we've got an email group so that we can stay in touch with each other. Facilitators can support participants if they feel they're falling behind. There's a very much a culture around respect for how hard participants are working. And so the facilitators will try and support them and help them and guide them through. And then, as I said before, the online platform has got, it's actually now got 2 different ways of looking at your progress. So that suits people who want to see things differently. And there's also a resource library that you can access. So it's quite easy to navigate as well.
Perfect, thank you. And lastly from me, Charlie, who do you think would be best placed to apply to do this course, the NPQ in Leading Teaching?
So this is an exciting course because it is all about teaching, which is the most important thing that we do in schools. So I would be suggesting it to anybody who felt that teaching is a craft and something that they personally want to develop, but they also want to lead others to develop, and that they want it to be evidence-based and research-driven, and they want to learn from their colleagues. So the kind of people that might be is an experienced or established teacher who would like to develop their skills and knowledge, middle leaders within primary schools, so phase leaders, subject leaders, and middle leaders within secondary schools. If they're leading a subject, they would benefit from this course. It would really inform their curriculum planning and their pedagogy and how they support their team around implementing change. Any lead practitioners who may have a teaching and learning responsibility. It's very much a course that is all about the quality of teaching and learning and how that informs, how evidence informs our practice.
Great, thank you, Charlie. Hopefully you found that really useful. If you need any further information, then please do feel free to contact me, Faye McGill at thamesgateway.org.uk. Alternatively, you can go to the LC website where they have detailed descriptions of each of the courses, and there is an Apply Now button. So applications are now open for the October 2022 and the February 2023 cohort.